Hello and welcome to the what's this channel called? The Daguerreo F1 YouTube channel. If you haven't come here from my main channel, welcome. And if you have come here from my main channel, then welcome. I think this is going to be my first video of the channel. I'm recording about like 3 today. It's quite a light topic, you know. It's quite an easy video to make. It took me about like 5 seconds to make this video because we're doing a tier list of the best liveries, and they're all blurry to you right now because if I showed you it, then this would be a very boring video, but we're gonna move through slowly. So in F tier, we have no one. You're probably thinking, why would you include an F tier if you're just not going to put anyone in it? But that's because I want to show that I don't think that there's any F tier liveries this season. I think everyone has at least done a not bad job. But now we're on the C tier, and the first one I've got, and is my least favourite of the season, is the Alpine livery. I know a lot of people like the Alpine livery, and to be honest, I sort of do, but I think it's only last place because it's the exact same livery as last year. They literally copy and pasted this livery from 2025 to 2026, and they are the only teams who have done that, to have not at least tried to change their livery a tiny bit. And I don't know, maybe it's the Alpine effect swaying my decision, just the fact that they were just worse than Epstein last year. But no, it isn't a bad livery, it's just lazy, and that probably knocks it down a tier. If this was a new livery and I saw this livery for the first time, I think it could be in B, you know, it's not bad. But yeah, apparently they just didn't know how to cook this season because they had no ingredients. They didn't even try. Next up, I've got McLaren. Now, I do think this livery might be slightly worse than Alpine, like just looking at them directly, but I prefer it because it's actually something new compared to what Alpine have done. I think the best improvement is that they've actually improved the wheel covers quite significantly by making that chrome logo a gradient now instead of just the solid color difference they had last year. That was so ugly, but even though it's still not great, they have actually been able to fix it quite well, which is good. And I think the paint job does look nicer. I like the black line going down the middle of the car. That looks nice. I think there's less black than last year. I could be wrong. And I just don't think McLaren looks great with black, orange and black. Like, what are we, the hub? Like, what are we trying to do? I originally had the McLaren higher because the render makes it look so nice. Like, the orange is kind of like glowing golden orange color and it looks beautiful. I was like, wow, they've actually like not done bad here. But then when I saw it on track, it looked like exactly the same as last year. So they kind of clickbaited us with that one. So yeah, it's still in C, not bad. I respect the improvements, but it's still McLaren, so it's bottom. Next up, I think I've got a pretty controversial one. I've got Mercedes. That's right, I think the rumoured fastest car of 2026 has a mid-livery. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this one, because this livery is being glazed for no reason. I think the supposed to be smooth transition from the silver at the front to the black at the back just doesn't do it for me. I think a gradient flow genuinely would have looked so much nicer than whatever that is. It looks like a metal rib cage. And the Mercedes stars at the back just look a bit scruffy too. Sorry for offending most of you. For some reason, a lot of people aren't hating on the Mercedes livery as much as I think it should be. I'm not saying it's bad, by the way, I just think it's just wildly mediocre. Alright, B tier time. And I've got a bit of a weird pick. I mean, you could move this down a peg and I wouldn't be mad at you at all. It probably couldn't go any higher than this. But it's Aston Martin. It's shrimple and it works. It's literally just British Racing Green with those lime accents, you know, running down the middle of the car. Makes it look nice. But also, I just like the look of the car, you know. The unique, newy design of this Aston Martin just looks pretty badass. All this just to finish P11. And yeah, I know you can argue that we're ranking the liveries, not the cars, but yeah, I'm ranking both. I think it is the least offensive livery of the bunch, and it mostly works. It also helps that it's the only green team of the grid this season, so that bumps it up quite a bit. It's just a shame that this car itself will be worse than Epstein. Alright, and number 5, we have got Caddy. I feel like some people would put this higher, but some people put this lower, you know? It's an acquired taste if it was a livery, you know? Before Cadillac had announced their livery, I originally thought that it would suck, but it actually doesn't. It looks nice, and it's definitely unique, you know? I respect the boldness, you know? No team, as far as I think, has done a gradient on their car. And it, of course, it's very bold to make it non-symmetrical down the middle. So they've got a darker side and a brighter side. But obviously it's weird because they're kind of playing it safe and they're being bold at the same time because it's just a black and white color scheme, which, you know, is why I've probably moved it down a bit than what I would have wanted, because I wish that they'd had some kind of color in there. Like, my picks would be kind of brighter green, like kind of Kick Sauber green, or yellow would be my best pick for Cadillac. But I would like to say that this livery is definitely a P11 livery, you know. It's kind of giving background character vibes, but that's okay because it is their first season and no one's going to hate on them for that, you know. Next up, I've got Williams. A lot of you might not like me for this, you know. I definitely don't think it can go much higher than this. I would think that most people would want to put it a bit lower towards the list, maybe even in C tier. But I think the Williams were actually just so close to perfection. Like, if you compare this car compared to last year's car, it's just got so much more character to it. It's got those lighter accents, you know, that light blue colour. Yo, I like that colour. That is a nice colour. And they got the white next to it as well. I'm like, okay, we need a bit more white in this grid, I think. But then they've covered half the car in black, which I'm going to actually have a little side rant about now. Every car has black in now, and it's not okay. Like, the floor and the diffuser on the cars, like, I think they have to be black. Don't quote me on that. But that's already enough black in every livery. Bringing more black in there, it's just unnecessary, you know? Really PMO, man. Anyway, the sponsors also ruined this. They thought that they were being smart and clever with these sponsors and their placements, but it just downgrades the car so much, man. Like, somehow they made worse wheel covers than McLaren. Well, why would you have a roulette wheel as your wheel covers, bro? If it was blue, maybe, but it's like, it's purple and white, so nah, it just doesn't work. And the battery at the top, were they cooking? No. So nice try, Duracell, but I ain't buying your batteries now. I will be using Energizer from now on. Okay, now we're getting up there. We're getting at the big dogs. These are liveries that are almost flawless. They look nice, you know? When I saw them revealed, well, some more than others, but I was like... But the first one in A tier is controversial. I know a lot of people really like it, but I've gone for the Red Bull livery. Pretty much the only change, I think, is that they removed the old, like, matte dark blue finish and they've gone for the more glossy, lighter blue, kind of paying homage to the older era Red Bulls. But on track, it genuinely looks the same as last year. I'm not even kidding. Like, you can tell a tiny difference, but it's not much. I mean, the main difference is that it's like glossy now and that you can see some shine. In places like Vegas, you know, like at night, it's going to look like beautiful, you know, but during the day, it looks the same pretty much. But still, I do respect the change. And the rest of the livery does look good, which is why I've got it this high. It's just that the new paint job is more of an Easter egg in the right lighting than an actual new colour. Next up, I have got Audi. I don't really know where the community stands with this one. I see it get a lot of love and a lot of hate, and I love. It's simple, but mean looking. It knows what it is, and I love it. And to the people that say that the early livery looks better, get help. That would have been bottom on this list if that livery was the one that was used. And also, I've got to respect the tool side pods that they added in the last practice session, I think, but not the one before. And yeah, they seem to be the only team doing this. So yeah, I respect that. And I actually think it looks cool. It makes them look a lot more unique, you know. All right, we're on the last one of the 8 here. And I've got racing balls. I know, a lot of people are either hating on this or sleeping on it. And mate, honestly, when I saw the render, this was my favourite livery that I'd seen. When the first liveries were announced, the Red Bull and the Racing Balls ones, I was like that meme of the guy with his girlfriend looking at the other girl, you know? And everyone was looking at Red Bull Racing, and I was sitting there like, hang on a minute, like Racing Balls is smexy. Like, have you seen this livery? It's somehow got so many colours, but it looks so clean at the same time. Basically, it's Red Bull, but it's white instead of blue. But there are 2 things that I prefer about it than Red Bull. One is the air intake at the top. I don't know why today is all about air intakes, but it's, you know, it's kind of like Williams, but it's thicker. And I like that look way more than just the circular ones. I think the circular ones look kind of ugly, I can't lie. Like when you see it out on track, it is big. Like it's really big, which probably isn't a good thing, but it looks nice. At least this one isn't a bloody battery, so that's all right. Probably the most eye-catching thing of this livery is the wheel covers. A lot of you don't like wheel covers, you know, and fair enough, but I think if this didn't have wheel covers, it would probably look worse. I don't know. But the fact that they've added more white in there, which they needed because it was already quite dark looking, you know, it's just perfect. The wheel covers, they just hold so much aura, like they complete this livery. The way I'm glazing this, it should be an S, but when I actually saw it on track and testing, it disappointed me a little bit. It does look a bit cluttered, but that's fine. I mean, it's Racing Balls, who cares? All right, we're on to the S tier now. These are the 2 liveries that I think pretty much have no flaws. Like they are banging. And the second best livery, I think, is Ferrari. Holy, they cooked. I wasn't too sure about this livery when it first got revealed. I thought that they had too much white, but it's exactly what the field needed. Like, you need some white to break up all this black, you know? Don't clip me out of context for that, please. And that triangular air intake at the top too, above the driver's head. Ooh. You should know that I'm a fan of uniqueness by now, and there is no other team like it. It just makes the car look so slick and zippy, you know? And it's not only just the white that makes the car look a lot brighter, it's the actual red that they've used as well. It is so much lighter than last year. I mean, over the last few years, the Ferraris have just been getting darker and darker, but it honestly looks so much nicer now. It's just a shame about the HP logo, man. But I will say, it works better than last year because the rest of the car is brighter, just like the logo. So it's not too bad. But my winner, and most other people's winner, is Haas. They probably couldn't have made a better livery. Like, it looks so nice with kind of the Haas colours and the Haas brand that they've built. If you look at it compared to last year, it doesn't look like much has changed, but at the same time, they've cooked. It somehow looks like it's moving when it's stationary. I genuinely can't think of a downside of this livery, which is why I've got it as the best. I think it's the fact that they've added so much more white. Just like Ferrari, it makes it look so much better compared to last year. There was just too much black. I'm talking about cars, not people, just to clear that up. Anyway, back to Haas, the car. The red accents, they're so nice, man. They look so clean and just make it look fast. And I will say that that new sponsor name is making Haas look a lot nicer. It actually fits it so well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about the liveries. Hopefully you agree with my ranking. If you don't, you can go and that is perfectly fine. But let me know your livery ranking in the comments. I want to hear it. And yeah, stay tuned for more F1 videos. I've got driver standings predictions coming up soon, and I've got my weekend predictions for the first race, and I'm going to be doing weekend predictions for every race on this channel, by the way. So subscribe to stay tuned, like the video to help me out in the algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.